Hey guys, it's Katie at scrapandkatie.ctmh.com, and I am bringing you the next video in the Everyday Moments video collection featuring the Heart of Gold card from the new Cricut collection. So I am going to make this card a 12 by 12 layout, and I've already done most of the stuff off camera, but I am going to show you how to make these scalloped pieces 11 3/4 easily. So the first thing you want to do is contour and get rid of those letters, and then duplicate the image and line them up end to end. And then I am going to collect both images and align those to the top. And that way when I weld them together, I can make sure that they are straight. So now that they are welded together, I am going to try and make them 11 3/4. So in order to do that and keep the width and keep full scallops on both ends, it is a multi-step process. So the first thing I do is insert just a shape, and I have chosen a square. And I'm going to align that square right about 12 inches. That is where a full scallop would be. So I'm just going to move this square down and then over to make sure that I have a full scallop on that right side. So now that I do, I am going to select both of those images and use the slice feature to get rid of that end. So once I've sliced it, I will delete anything I do not need. And then now that is going to allow me to resize this to 11 3/4, keeping the width and then also keeping full scallops on each end. So I am going to just duplicate this border and change the color to that gold color. And then now I have all the scalloped pieces. So the next step is to make sure that I cut out those words from those scalloped border pieces. So the easiest thing to do on that is move all those out of the way and then take each scalloped border, put it to the 0x axis, and then make sure that my words are at the front image. So I'm going to highlight that U, send it to the front, and then slide it over on top of that scalloped border. Now on my layout, I want all of my words to line up. So I am just using the X and the Y axis up there to line the word up at the 1-inch X axis, and then move those down just a little bit so I'll have enough room on the top of each layer for that scalloped piece to go over. So I've done that one, and I am going to do these other ones really quick. Again, you just drag and drop the letter and then move it over to the 1-inch axis, and then use the slice feature to cut that sentiment out of that scalloped border piece. So now that the majority of those are all done, these hearts I'm going to duplicate twice, kind of space those out, collect them all, line them up to the top, and then ungroup them. That way I can select one heart and then the scalloped border piece and use the slice feature. So you cannot slice grouped images. That's why I had to ungroup them after I got them lined up. So right here, I am just making sure that all of these pieces line up. I'm making sure I have the right spacing so I don't have to play with the widths any. And then I am going to drag over some shapes that I inserted to stand for the photo wells that I will be using on this layout. So everything is cut, and I just love how these scalloped pieces turned out. I'm also loving the colors, which happen to be the colors from These Are My People. And then I also love all the leftovers. I've got leftover words as well as those leftover scallops. So the photos I'm going to be using are of my daughter and her teacher last year. Now, this teacher literally has a heart of gold, not only for her students, but she also does a lot with the autistic community here in our town. And she just She just loves everyone she comes into contact with. She always has a smile on her face, which after homeschooling for a couple of weeks, I know has got to be hard to do. So I just wanted to document this special relationship that my daughter has with her. Now, we aren't really the type of people that just let our kids go with anyone. So I need to preface that by her oldest son is actually a really good friend of our youngest son. And so we have known her for a while. And so the fact that she is so close to our daughter just means that much more. We just love this family. So right here, I am just applying tape adhesive on the back of these scalloped pieces, making sure that they are tacked down, but I really don't want to press down too much until I am sure that they are lined up and the spacing is good. So now that I have that all done, I am going to start inserting or gluing down the middles of these vowels. Now I decided to use liquid glass. Any liquid adhesive would work. Liquid glass does have a fast drying time. It also allows me to get on those little bitty spaces, as well as kind of gives me some flexibility. If I put one of those pieces down in the wrong spot, I can kind of move it around where tape adhesive would not allow me to do so. You could also keep those centers out. I know that that is really trendy right now, is to kind of have those blocked out letters. So I am going to keep this photo 4x6 portrait, and I have adhered that down to a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat. So this other photo of the teacher, my daughter, and her daughter, I couldn't decide if I wanted to keep it a 4x6 or maybe even a square. And so I'm just kind of playing with that right now to see what I want to do. And I decided to go ahead and keep it the 4x6 portrait. So I'm going to adhere that down onto a photo mat and then start playing with the journaling spots. So I'm going to glue these down, and then I'm going to pull the These Are My People paper packet out. And I wanted to incorporate some more hearts as well as that saffron color. So I am pulling out this saffron grid background paper as well as my stitched hearts, and I have cut 2 of those, and I will glue those together and use that for a small journaling piece. So this stamp set is an older stamp set, but it is still available in the online section of my website, and I will link that down below. But I was so surprised when I saw the sentiment. It says, "I love your face." And the reason I'm surprised is because this teacher has been saying that for forever, long before this stamp set came out. And so I definitely wanted to use that as kind of like a subtitle to this layout. So I'm just playing with different colors, and I have decided to go with the Smoothie cardstock inked up in sapphire ink. And I'm just going to trim that down to a pretty tight rectangle around the sentiment. And I think that also kind of creates the triangle on the colors. So I am going to pop dot that sentiment and then try to play with some other things as far as embellishments. So to make that stand up a little bit more, I've just applied Smoothie ink all around the edge of that, and then I'm going to glue down those stitched hearts. And then I just decided that top layer just has so much color to it because there's nothing above it, and so it just didn't seem anchored down. So this is a zip strip from the These Are My People paper collection. So I'm just going to apply some adhesive and then adhere that down, and I just love the look it gives it. It just kind of anchors it as well as breaks up all of that Smoothie cardstock on the top. So I pulled out a stitch circle, and then I'm going to pull out the sticker sheet from the These Are My People and add some other stickers. So I did want to add some hearts and stuff, but I ended up just going with these little journaling blocks, and it says Making Days Fun. I also loved this because anytime this teacher is around, Laramie has a smile on her face. This teacher just loves to make learning fun, loves to make life fun, and so I just felt that it just fit her and this layout perfectly. So I did decide to cut that peach stitch circle in half, tuck it behind that photo to kind of anchor that subtitle. And then that is the layout pretty much. Again, I will link all the products I used below. And again, this is a part of a video series using the Everyday Moments Cricut Collection. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Please subscribe and sign up for notifications. That way you'll be notified the next time I post one of these crafty videos. And don't forget to check out the other videos in this video series.